It was fantastic. Some of the most exciting and wonderful times to experience.
Gibson's got Gerald Davis. Can he get there? He's got 25 yards to go. What a run it is. He's gone under the stick.
It took them about 2 months to accept that we'd won. I said, I'm sorry, we did.
Beautifully back to Barry John, looking for the drop goal. He's done it.
Barry was the prototype rugby union superstar. People would flock to see him. I mean, he looked like a film star.
Barry didn't seek that kind of adulation. It just happened.
That's total alienation, that was. Total alienation. I said, enough's enough.
To follow Barry John, that would have made even the most talented person think, oh, I can't step into his shoes.
And here's Phil Bennett. Nothing could do Phil Bennett more good, I think, than getting that penalty over.
To see Phil playing with such confidence really gave us all a great lift. We'll miss Barry, but we've got another star in his place.
Alisisco, brilliant. Oh, that's brilliant. John Williams, Brian Williams, Cullen, John Dawes, great dummy. David, Tom David, the halfway line, brilliant by Quinnell. This is Gareth Edwards, a dramatic start. What a score!
We'd achieved something that no other team had ever achieved. The worry now was, can we maintain it? We were delighted as players. The fame that came with that surprised a lot of us. Everybody's life changed, I'm sure.
We just clicked with a lot of skillful players. And I don't think we realised how good it was.
We weren't just an international rugby team. We behaved and acted and performed like a club team because it's the same group of players that came together from one weekend of an international game to another weekend.
They were like pop stars, especially after Lions tour. I think, we didn't have rock stars or anything like that, so they were our sort of rock stars, really.
These fellas had made history and they were local people. They were ours. You have to remember, these were very traumatic times. A lot of people didn't really know where their next meal was coming from. And in a way, that made the Welsh rugby team that much more important, because never mind, it's going to be a tough week, but Saturday we're home to England.
It was nice people watching us. They were enjoying the day out watching the Welsh team training, and then, how are you? We all had a sense of belonging. As much as I would have loved seeing Barry stay on, Phil slotted in exceptionally well. And of course, what is important is the first game, which is what we were all looking forward to.
Pulling through, John Taylor. It's John Lloyd to Quinnell. Quinnell almost there. Again back to Edwards. Bergier to John Bevan. Can Bevan score his fourth international try? Yes, he can. Edwards to Bennett. The little kick through. There could be a score here for Gerald Davis. He's going to get there first.
Not since 1967 has a Scotland team been successful against Wales.
Morgan to Telfer. Could be a useful ball. Gerald Davis back. That really was adventurous by Gerald Davis. It shows the supreme confidence of this Welsh side. Morgan to Telfer. The dummy run by Forsyth. Telfer clean through. What a try! Pick up to Morgan. Out to Steele. Steele must score. The referee's whistle goes, and Scotland have done it.
Our fans expected us to beat every side and relatively easily. But there was nobody more disappointed. Nobody more disappointed than a Welsh team that had lost.
Phil, at 10-6 at half-time, you must have thought that Wales had a great chance of winning.
I did really, Peter. With a win second half, I thought if we could get down there and get a quick early score, we'd, do very well second half, but never really looked like scoring.
Sporting public's pretty fickle. And I suppose we in the newspaper business would reflect that. So we'd be saying to the players, hey, hang on, what's gone wrong here? And, they would reasonably say, well, we got no right to win all the time, have we? But that was the expectation. That's how good these people were. You've set standards, boy, and you've got to maintain them.
Giving France an opportunity for a very early lead. Jean-Pierre Romeu. 3 points to nil then, and we've hardly settled in our seats. Looking for the drop goal.
Other sides were getting better and preparing more and more, possibly working us out. I knew that playing with Phil Bennett would take some time to get together, to understand each other's play.
And that's it. 12 points to 3, the French have won.
Here at Roos Airport, 32 special flights by Cambrian Airways have brought back over 2,000 disappointed fans.
The whole Welsh team has gone too cocky. They think they can beat everybody.
I think the boys realise now that they've got to do something extra and not really believe at all times that we're going to win every match by good rugby.
There became almost a sort of, well, you know, we're Wales. What's wrong? We're not winning anymore. At that time, South Africa were the pariahs of international sport. Expelled from the International Olympic Committee. They had been expelled by FIFA from the World Cup.
The campaign to stop the British Lions tour of South Africa is underway. Demonstrations against similar tours in the past have had some success.
There were lots of people suggesting that we shouldn't be going for whatever reason, that they believed it was not right and proper to do so.
It's impossible for players to play there unless, in fact, they embrace apartheid and racialism. Though our advice to them would be, for the reason I've stated, that it's rather unwise for them to go.
I say they shouldn't be here.
They shouldn't be here?
No, yes.
Why not?
Because continuing pressure, unremitting continuing pressure, is bound to force this country to change its racist laws.
There was lots of things that didn't sit comfortably with us, that's for sure. But you're young, you're ambitious, you're sports mad. Having beaten New Zealand, everybody was keen to sort of go and prove yourself and beat South Africa on their own territory as well. We selfishly, all we wanted to do was go and play our sport, play our rugby against the best in the world.
Farouk's fees. So good, Hill, Rummer, the switch, that's across. Lukes is going to score. And that was such a neat little move.
Bennett going onto his left foot, it's not his good one. There we are, Rummer charging down. Bennett's left foot not trusted there.
You would be very much aware of the criticism. You didn't need to read it every day.
You don't get time to bed in international sport. I mean, it's an unforgiving arena, particularly if you're not seen to be up to the job.
Neary, Webster, Old, inside to Evans. Evans with the blistering pace. Utley's with him. What a great move. He gives it to Ralston. Ralston to Duckham. Duckham's going to score. What a try. The referee's whistle has gone for the end of the match. A natural disappointment for the Welshman.
Winning is important, irrespective of what you say, oh, but they're a lovely side, oh, and they play this, and they play that. No, if you don't win, you're in trouble. There was a bit of relief when we arrived in South Africa to finally get going.
We went there under a cloud. We were under pressure a little bit.
You just want to be in an environment where you can concentrate on what you want to do the job for. And that was to play rugby, get on the training ground and get out there and play. We were together for 3.5 months. So the wonderful thing for me, the opportunity was there for me to really get to know Phil. We would share different rooms just to sort of get to know one another. We're training every day. It's the nearest we'd come to being professionals, really.
Edwards, all the time in the world again. Phil Bennett, devastating break. Irvin in support.
To sort of have that amount of time to be able to pass to him on a regular basis really just helped our confidence.
Gareth Edwards and Phil Bennett decides to go the difficult way, back inside, across the field.
After a couple of weeks, you feel as if you've known him forever and a day.
Phil Bennett with the penalty attempt. It's looking good. It is good. The Lions go ahead, and all the points coming from Phil Bennett.
Phil Bennett loved it. He loved it. He was away from home. He was training every day. There were no work responsibilities. The weather was fantastic. He was training like a professional athlete for 12 weeks. And if you look at the pictures of him, he looks fantastic. He's lean, he's sinewy. He just looks like a real ripped professional athlete.
To think that I'd enjoyed a partnership with Barry only a few years before, now I was really enjoying the moment with Phil.
And the referee in this vital second test, Mr. Casterbrain, as Phil Bennett sets the game in motion.
Hard ground suited his style of rugby. It just gave him that lift off that he could accelerate through gaps.
Bennett jinking inside, weaving his path through. Brilliant running by Phil Bennett.
It gave him the ability to turn and twist and leave big men trailing in his wake.
They couldn't get close to him. Magic side steps.
Inside beautifully to Phil Bennett. Look at that acceleration. Bennett with Billy Steele. Bennett on his own. Bennett 5 yards short. He's going to score. Phil Bennett. What a solo effort.
For the partnership of Gareth Edwards and Phil Bennett, that tour is a particular highlight. Running riot and playing so beautifully around the time of their lives as players.
Edwards rolling for JJ Williams into the 25. Williams kicks it on. This could be a try. Williams has scored.
And of course, as they started to win and kept winning, that generated a momentum of its own and got non-rugby people, oh, the Lions have won again. Oh, good heck. You know, they're bound to lose one, but of course they didn't. And they made history.
To win the Lions tour, it was a fantastic feeling to have beaten both New Zealand and South Africa. And of course, we couldn't then wait to board that plane back home.
Whatever happens in the steel industry affects nearly everyone living in Wales, for the British Steel Corporation is the biggest single employer in the Principality. If the recommendations which are being made to the government are accepted, the various closures and contractions will mean the overall loss of 18,000 jobs.
You've got to show some guts in this kind of situation, you know. You've got to stand up to the situation.
Wales was struggling. Huge period of industrial decline, crumbling sense of self-esteem because we'd attached it to our big industries.
These economic pillars of South Wales society, and therefore of Welsh rugby, and therefore of the clubs and the local communities, were being knocked away.
It was a huge social and economic change in Wales. You had 2 miners' strikes through the 70s, you had the colliery closures, so it was a huge social impact was happening in Wales.
Coal, steel, community, these were part of our identity. And the one thing that's kind of getting us through, something that is a source of huge pride, is rugby.
There was a sense of doom and gloom going into the Five Nations.
John Dawes was a brilliant, most underrated centre of all time, really. He's just a brilliant handler of the ball.
If they can move that maul 6 inches, you've given your wings a scoring chance. Now you've got to realise as you get into a maul, that is your job. What number are you? What do I have to do?
He knew the game very well. And what was good about him too, he was qualified as a teacher. So he had a teacher's attitude of empathy and sympathy with those in his charge.
But we know when the ball goes into that ideal situation what we are going to do. And that's all it means. If it doesn't go exactly in that situation, it's a minor adjustment in all of it.
A real thinker and a very creative thinker about rugby. He's been there, done it as a player, but he's got his own stamp as a coach as well.
Merv was a character without actually being exuberant. A man of very few words. Loved nothing better than tracking on a cigarette. Even in the dressing room, you know.
At my age, one expects the sort of things to get more relaxed now. Sort of having played in so many internationals, but the pressure is certainly on, you know, and I feel as nervous as anything about this one as my first one, perhaps.
I rang him up when he got it and I said, Merv, let me tell you, I'm with you all the way.
Six new caps. France, Paris. Unheard of. John Bevan, Ray Gravel, Steve Fennick. And here you had, for the first time, an all-club front row, a Pontypool front row. Graham Price, Bobby Windsor, and Charlie Faulkner.
To think of 6 changes, going to Parc des Princes in Paris to face up to a formidable French team was quite something.
You're pushing your luck to have 6 new caps at home at the Arms Park, but to go to Paris?
It was, to me, an adventurous way of going about it, but believing in what he believed.
What's morale like in the team at the moment?
Very, very good indeed. I think they are quite confident. They realise there's a battle royal ahead. They realise that they wear 3 feathers, that no one gives them much of a chance. And personally speaking, I would prefer it that way.
It was an unbelievable experience, you know. Just couldn't believe it was happening. Looking round, you know, how did I get here?
And the new caps in the Welsh side this afternoon, 6 of them. What an ordeal for them in this cauldron of a stadium.
But John Dawes immediately put your mind to rest because he said, look, Steve, you've been picked for what you do for Bridgend. And all I want you to do is what you do for Bridgend, you do for Wales.
And the referee for the match, Mr. Ken Pattinson of the North Midlands Society in England, as France kick off in the white shirts, playing from left to right. That's Farouk's the captain, a very long pass out to Dort. JPR Williams. Monsieur Jacques Chirac, the Prime Minister. That's to Edwards. Looks for the drop. Looks, and this could be a sensational try. And Fenwick it was who gathered that loose ball. What a start in your first international. Edwards gathering it. Bevan to Gravel. Gravel trying to run outside Bertrand. Fenwick to Gerald Davies, cutting beautifully inside. Up to the French 25. Support from Mervyn Davies. Can he make the line? Cobner's going to get there. And this new, almost experimental side playing some classic rugby. Faulkner has it. Worked back by Trevor Evans. Edwards is through in like a flash, and he's going to score. He's taking it round under the post. Luke's despairingly back around. The charge downfield from Graham Price. And Price, this could be a dramatic score. They'll never believe it in Pontypool.
To be honest, I had to pinch myself. It was very much a case of a lot of the new players that come in, seemed to take off really well.
From that first game, in the team room afterwards, Dawes, he said, boys, we may not be a good team yet, but we will be by the end of the season.
You can just get a feel of the tremendous tension and the excitement. Think of the butterflies in the tummy there as the teams take the field. The greatest moment in a sportsman's life.
John Dawes knew exactly how he wanted us to play.
Beautifully tailored ball for Wales. Edwards to Bevan. Oh, what a lovely run this is by Gravel. A chance for Fenwick. J.J. Williams is bound to score. What a try.
He was very open-minded as to how the game should be played. He certainly didn't want to restrict the team, and he didn't want to restrict the players within it. He always felt, go out there, express yourself, do what you need to do.
Windsor throws, Mervyn palms, Edwards to Bevan. A chance there for Gravel. Right in front of those English posts. Can they work it clear from Faulkner? Bevan along the line to Williams. And it's a chance for Gerald Davies. And what a try.
Congratulations once again. The next hurdle, Murrayfield, how do you look forward to that?
Well, I think we're in with a very good chance now. I think we're really feeling on top of the world, so I think they'll have a hard job keeping us anyway.
Off to your bath. Thank you for talking to us.
We were getting a reputation that this Welsh team was a tough team.
The Welsh team were always thought of as plenty of running rugby, clever play and so on. But there was no hardness about it. The Pontypool front row, they brought a strength and a power.
Mervyn Davies trying to feed out. And a little bit of rough stuff there involving Charlie Faulkner and Sandy Carmichael.
They weren't afraid to get in where it hurt. And they weren't afraid to get in to hurt.
That's what the Pontypool front row did. They gave us that strong reputation that the other teams feared us.
Wales now looking assured of at least a share in this year's championship, and how many people would have given them a chance of that at the start of this season? Mervyn Davies tries to get the quick pass to Phil Bennett. Bennett, that elusive little run. JJ Williams, a bit of room to move. Windsor in support. Is he going to score like he did against Australia? It could be a try for Faulkner. And there'll be joy in the streets of Pontypool. Berges, Gravel, cuts back inside. Berges in support. 5 yards out now. Cobner has it. Feeds to Edwards. Bennett, there could be a try on here. JPR Williams with JJ outside him. Gibson covering. He can't hold him. It's another try. And JJ Williams has got what he deserved. And that's it. Wales have won by the unbelievable margin of 32 points to 4. A remarkable achievement, a magnificent performance in a season when they set out almost as underdogs. They now have a new team, a new captain, a new coach, and what a performance with which to end this championship season.
Oh, it was fantastic to be part of a winning side, you know, and especially after the couple of years before, it was a bit of an uplift for Welsh rugby and Welsh rugby fans.
It gave us the stepping stone we needed to play the game against anybody who cared to play against us. And it gave us the confidence that regardless of who we faced, we could manage it.
More to touchline, Chris. More to touchline. Give me more room. I think it's going to be a hard tour. It is obviously part of the build-up, as we were built up last year with this team. But nevertheless, it's a challenge in its own sense. But something we look forward to enjoy, play good quality rugby, and obviously achieve some success.
We were all maturing. There was so much quality in that team of that generation. I think the strength of the team was that there were so many irons in the fire that people couldn't keep putting them out, so to speak.
Beautiful second phase, out to Fenwick in the fly-half position. A loose pass, brilliantly picked up by Bennett. And there's no one going to stop JJ Williams. JJ Williams making that his 7th try of the tour.
Some boys are so confident that we all benefit from it, because you can see from their stature, the way they stand up, the way they look at the opposition, the way they do that. And then there are other guys who require that confidence.
Gravel, lovely outside half break there by Gravel.
Grav is a real pain on the field because he was always asking me, Doc, how am I doing, Doc? I said, Grav, you're doing fine. Please let me get on my own game. I'm trying to concentrate on my own game.
In the middle of the field, he might just throw the ball down, look all around him and say, phew. He probably couldn't quite believe that he was there. And then he'd say, you like me, don't you? Grav, I love you. You're trying to think, what can you say? The most important thing is, what am I going to say back and say, Grav, oh, you're tremendous. Never seen you play better. He was a tremendous character, which again fitted in to the character of the team.
Mervyn Davies, well, your captaincy seems to go from strength to strength. You must have enjoyed that tour.
It's great to be a successful captain, and I've often told the players this: they don't need a captain. They're such a good side, so well organised. Probably John Dawes' influence on this, but it doesn't need a captain. They just play their hearts out every game.
Great scrummage thrust by England, nonetheless, from Mervyn Davies to Edwards to Bennett to Fenwick. They've missed out John Williams, the fullback. JJ, this is John Williams now. Can John Williams score his third try against England? Yes, he can. Back to Edwards. Phil Bennett. Gravel. Oh, beautifully on there. Gerald Davis with John Williams helping. And they're still 10 yards off.
The people would be there and, they'd be screaming and shouting and you daren't let them down, you couldn't let them down. They were fanatical.
Welsh rugby epitomised all that was good about us. It was a sort of a manifestation of nationhood where we took rugby as a symbol of nationalism.
Bennett's getting a lovely service now. Gravel bouncing off that tackle. It could be another try for Wales. Bennett going himself. Oh, brilliant dummy to seal it surely for Wales. And Wales with the Triple Crown. And all set surely for a dramatic finale for the Championship and the Grand Slam.
It was the one game that we walked the world stage, and Welsh people take great pride in whatever Welsh people do, or whatever success we have.
It was something that was essential to us, that we were able to do something which the people of Wales could feel proud of.
Well, you almost felt an obligation that, God, we've got to win this match, we've got to do this, we've got to do it for the country.
Windsor throws, Mervyn Davies palms, Price on the field, the tackle by Reeve, Price lays it back beautifully. Now it's out to Edwards, the feed there to Gravel, to John Williams, the fullback. Another tremendous tackle by Reeve. Fed out from Alan Martin, Edwards, Gravel once again. This is out to Phil Bennett, there's a chance here for Fenwick, JJ Williams must score. As this superb Welsh side put themselves in the record books as they've won the Grand Slam.
Everybody was jumping for joy and enjoying the moment and, oh, well done, Gar, well done, Japes, well done, Ger, well done, Phil.
First Grand Slam for myself. The players just seemed to hit everything right, and all the sort of promise that we'd shown the year before came through.
It was absolutely phenomenal. I said to Mervyn, how do you follow that? Expecting a glib answer. How do we follow that? He said, 3 Grand Slams in a row.
It was big, big news, The game was getting more and more popular. It was spreading far and wide. It wasn't just for the playing field. There was some opportunities there for us. I remember asking whether or not I could be involved in the Superstars in America, if it was just for the experience.
Now, Gareth Edwards, 22 chins.
30 seconds.
It was exciting.
Gareth makes 210, but then retires from the competition.
People wanted you to come and speak at this dinner, come and attend this carnival, come and do this, come and do that.
By the mid-70s, Welsh rugby was a cultural phenomenon. The players are kind of generating an industry around them.
Welsh sports personality for 1976, Mervyn Davies and the Grand Slam team.
Good luck in all your matches this season except when you play England.
People like Mervyn knew how special the group was. I think he appreciated, it's very, very rare in any sport that you get so many players of such a high quality simultaneously. But what he didn't know, of course, was 2 weeks later, his career would end.
Out to Blythe, here comes another try. It was Reese's pass to Blythe, and Woodward is the scorer. The injury in the movement is to Mervyn Davies, who served the ball from the ruck.
We all sensed right away that it was something serious. We didn't know how serious at that time.
I heard on the radio that Mervyn Davies had been injured and taken to hospital.
He was one of the great figures, not just in Welsh rugby, but in world rugby. He was suddenly stricken at the height of his career. Was he going to... It wasn't a question of will he play again, it was will he live?
He's seriously ill. He's had a subarachnoid hemorrhage, and this is an unpleasant and dangerous condition.
How dangerous? Is his life in danger?
Yes, I think it's fair to say it is.
What can you remember of the incident?
Absolutely nothing. I don't remember anything from Saturday night previously. Sort of a vague recollections of the Saturday night, and then none for about a week after that. So I certainly don't remember anything about the game whatsoever.
Nothing at all?
Nothing at all, no. Lost a week somewhere.
We were all devastated. Although we were pleased that his life had been saved, it was a huge loss to the team. And as much as we would have loved to have seen him continuing to play, it was indeed a sad way for him to leave the game. There's no doubt that it would have been difficult for Phil because he was a good pal of, well, we were all good pals of Merv, you know? So our thoughts were always with him, really, and thinking, well, what would Merv do if he was here?
And Phil Bennett, for the first time, leads Wales onto the international field at Cardiff Arms Park.
Phil was not a natural captain, he wasn't a natural leader, but for him it was an enormous honour. He had to inspire them. It was about picking the right words. It was about knowing what to say in the right moments.
A good position for Wales to run the ball. There's the narrow and the open side are clear. Windsor feeding it inside to his vice-captain Trevor Evans. Gibson helped to hold him up. Wales ruck well. Edwards, Fenwick. Yes, they knew the way was barred. Here goes Bennett from the broken play. Oh, Bircher's with him. He can get it to Gerald Davis.
He was a very, very good motivator. We got inspiration from the way in which he used to do things on the field of play, you know. He knew tactically how to play the game and what was required.
Edwards, Bennett, along the line to David Bircher. Bircher half through, gives it to JPR Williams. Is he going to do it again?
Phil was galvanising us, as indeed Mervyn had. We were playing some super rugby.
JPR flattened by Carmichael. Fenwick, Gerald Davis, what was he doing there? And you can see Davis, Phil Bennett, Bennett out to David Bircher, Bircher back inside to Fenwick to Bennett. Oh, this is going to be the cry of the championship.
they are just astonishing. You know, what they do under whatever circumstances. You know, you went to the game knowing they were going to win.
There's a kind of arrogance creeping in to the fan base where, you know, yeah, we're going to beat everybody and we're going to do it in a certain style as well.
It got to the stage where the fans were actually so demanding that they expected you to win by 50 points.
A lot of us thought, well, you know, this is Wales. This is normal. But of course, it wasn't normal. It was abnormal in a glorious way.
Before we started on the season, I think they needed something to discuss and you know, to try and attain for the season. All it did was actually put a lot more pressure on the team.
The fans expected nothing less. So the pressure to sustain that level of performance and success and achievement must have been considerable.
Wales start their defence of the Triple Crown with yet another win over England, their fourth in a row.
We love playing, so you want to play for as long as you can, but at the same time, being amateurs and having a full-time job, you've got to be conscious of the company that you're working for, the people that you're working for, and your family, of course, at the same time, who've sacrificed a tremendous amount over the years. So there's a huge amount to sort of take into consideration as you're getting older.
Visitors here in Dublin then, victories over England and Scotland under their belts already, and playing now for a unique third Triple Crown on the trot. Never been done before.
It absolutely was one of the most demanding games that I've ever played.
The Irish forwards went berserk that day, you know. They were kicking everything that moved and treading on everything. So I thought it's one of them games.
Good support from the Welsh back row. Quinnell, the number 8, plays it. Here's Fenwick. And can he run all the way?
It was tough. And that came with the territory, really. We didn't always live up to our best, but that wasn't through any lack of effort.
JPR Williams under pressure. Great take by him. Made a mistake, though, and it's awfully disparate for Wales. They're asking for the try, and it's been awarded. Windsor trying to do the ripping job, now help from his Pontypool colleague. Windsor spins it beautifully to Edwards, who keeps running and gives it to Fenwick, and can he work it to JJ Williams? Here it comes! And Wales have got their noses back in front. Richard O'Merck stops the game. Wales have performed a unique record in rugby football. Phil Bennett, number 10, has led Wales to a third Triple Crown on the trot.
You might be under the impression that we'd all be jumping up in the air, screaming, yes, you know, we've won this, we've won that. Nothing like it at all.
I remember Gareth and Benny were absolutely shattered in the dressing room after the game, possibly because we were all getting older.
"15, 20 minutes later, I can still see Bobby Windsor, Charlie, and a number of the other forwards still in their kit, just sat like this, head down, absolutely out as virtually, it had taken so much out of them, and I thought, God alive, if they're feeling like that, I'm just wondering what I'm feeling like.
I think Phil was starting to feel physically tired, and he was sharing that with one or two people within the dressing room, and they were just the first hints, the first suggestions that maybe this, what had looked to be an unstoppable force, was just beginning to feel as if it was rolling towards some kind of conclusion.
I'll never forget it. The smiles on our supporters. We're going to win the Grand Slam. And then go to Australia and do that. Then the South African tour will be of this, and then it'll be... And there was a loud and clear message. They'll never be satisfied with what we've achieved. There's always the next match.
People say, well, when did the golden era end? And I think I've got no doubt in saying it ended in 1978 with Wales-France, Grand Slam decider, end of the Five Nations.
And everybody here waiting with bated breath.
I didn't want to think about it too much. I didn't want to think, oh, that's the end of it. There was nothing like pulling that red shirt on. It's so special and means so much. And indeed, you'd virtually crawl over broken glass just to do that.
Listen to this cheer for Wales. Protection of the ball here, very important from the French point of view, but they haven't made it. This is Bennett. Bennett, has he made the line? What a try! Windsor using the tail, and again Squire wins it. Price, Edwards with the drop goal. Is it in the middle? It's there! Out to Steve Fenwick. Fenwick flips it to Edwards. Edwards, can he make the line? J.J. Williams to Bennett. It's another try. The referee's whistle has gone for the end of the match. And there must be one of the happiest men in the whole of the British Isles at the moment, Phil Bennett, Grand Slam captain.
That was the absolute perfect finale. Another Grand Slam, second in 3 years, unquestionably the best team in Europe. And I cannot think of a more fitting end to a golden era.
They're unbeaten in the championship here at Cardiff since 1968. An astonishing achievement. Wales, having won the Triple Crown more often than any other country, 15 times. They've been champions more often, 20 times. And now they go ahead of England with their 8th Grand Slam, a record as well.
It was funny, I didn't have the thrill that I'd had in Dublin. And there was Jean-Pierre saying, Gareth, it was your day today, but maybe next year in Paris, it'll be ours. And I said, yes, yes, yes. And I knew when I said yes to him, I knew there was going to be no next year in Paris.
Now, can I ask you, do you feel in the few seconds we have left that, in fact, you're captain of one of the great Welsh sides of all time?
I think, Frank, results and records speak for themselves. We've just won the Grand Slam. We've done all our talking out the field. That's all I can say.
It was a mercurial time in Welsh rugby. We took it for granted. You know, the old song, you don't know what you've got till it's gone. And it was a privilege to have watched those boys play, and a privilege to have witnessed some of the greatest rugby we've ever seen.
They were some of the happiest days of my life. And I think I've been very, very fortunate. It was all part of growing up and making friends that have lasted a lifetime. Some aren't with us anymore. But you'll never forget them. It's as if you've been into battle with them. It created a bond that stood the test of time. More than anything, I think we've just been privileged to be able to get to know one another, play in a team that were reasonably successful, and had a lot of fun on the way.